everyone. Welcome to the Inside Voice Sports Show. This is Hot Takes with Chase. I'm here with Chase Littner from the Bittersweet Motel Show. Chase,
Oh, thank you.
we know you're the king of hot takes. Tell us about the Bittersweet Motel Show and what you guys got going on.
All right, so thanks for the shout out, actually, Bittersweet Motel. Over the national quarantine going on, it's been kind of difficult to get our content out and everything. We've established on a couple platforms on like Twitter and Instagram and stuff, but we're still talking. But it is really it is really hard to try and get like a show out like that when you can't all be together in the same room. You know what I mean? Especially when you're relying on personalities all being together. So. Yeah, and it's been difficult, but yeah, we really appreciate the shout out. Thank you so much.
No problem. So we know I've known you for about 5 years now. I know you have some of the hottest takes out there. They just whether they just happen to pop out every now and then. So we brought you on. Give me some of your hot takes coming into the sporting season following up the coronavirus. So let's go ahead and get it started. Chase?
Hot take is that the next year, or I guess this coming up draft, the Wizards, and it also all depends on how that all happens with, COVID-19 going around and how that affects everything. But as of right now, I'm going to say that the Wizards get a lottery pick, right? And from that lottery pick, and I'll say who afterwards, I think that they will be one of the top winning teams in the East afterwards in the 2020-2021 NBA season. Right now, LaMelo Ball is projected to be one of the top picks right now. Him. And I believe his name is Anthony Edwards out of Arizona. You know what I'm talking about?
Georgia.
Georgia. I'm thinking of Nico Mannion out of Arizona. Yeah, those three right there are projected lottery picks. Nico Mannion, I believe he plays the 1 for Arizona. And Anthony Edwards is a 3 or no? What is he?
He's a smaller guard.
Yeah, he's a smaller guard. So I'm thinking with that, Anthony Wiseman may drop a little bit. Still a lottery pick, but what do the Wizards need? The Wizards need a big man just like that. They really haven't had a big force. In the past couple of years, they had the Polish Hammer come in, and he was pretty good. And then they brought in Dwight Howard, and Dwight Howard didn't, he kind of didn't really pan out. He had some games, don't get me wrong, but he got hurt and everything. I think Anthony Wiseman would be a young, fresh face. You add him to Hachimura, I butchered that name, Bradley Beal and John Wall coming back next year, I think they will be a force to be reckoned with.
You see, Chase, I agree with you. They need one of those bigger players to kind of come in and help Bradley Beal. And let's not forget, John Wall is going to be back from an injury next year, which is going to be huge for them if they can manage.
Yeah.
Last year, they're a team that's going to score a lot of points, but they also gave up a lot of points. They allowed 19.7 points per game. So getting a big body in there that can stretch the court, guard basically 1 through 4 is definitely going to help them out. I know who you went with. I'm going to disagree a little bit. I think they'd be better off with someone like Obi Toppin, Precious Achiuwa from Memphis. He's right around that 7, 8, 9 area. And also look out for Tyrese Halliburton. I was looking at the mock draft recently here on Instagram, and they have him going to the Wizards in that 8, 9 spot out of Iowa.
Really?
6'5", he's long, he can run the court, he can shoot, and that's definitely the kind of person that the Wizards are needing right now because they have the offensive production. They're putting up about 115 points per game. They just need someone that can continue to get stops on the defensive side and then let that offense flow through them a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? I'm not mad at anything you said right there. I think that's all valid points. Because the defense was a major problem. Who was it they played? I believe it was OKC that they played this year, and the Wizards. Was it OKC? I think the final score was like 136 to 147. Granted that they went to double overtime, or they went to just overtime, but still I think by third quarter it was probably 90 to 100. It was just a shootout the entire time. But I definitely think with the lottery pick, they're going to take a big man. There's no doubt about it. It's just a matter of which one. But also, I think a big, he's not projected to go, and he probably won't declare. But if he does, I think Garza out of Iowa can mix things up because I think he's a good enough player where some teams would disregard because the whole idea of you take best available. I think if he's available, a lot of teams out there they will take him, regardless whether or not they have the kind of a fringe, decent big man down low. He plays a 4 and a 3 kind of for Iowa, but I think a lot of teams would take him regardless. And I think that could mess up the whole draft order. At the end of the day, it all comes to draft order and who takes what and what's available,
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, whenever the coronavirus came around and affected the NBA, the Wizards were 24-40. Nice.
Yeah.
So they've kind of been middle of the pack. We'll see if they can get that lottery pick coming into next season and who they think will best shore up their roster and kind of get them back on the winning side. They've been away from it for a while. It seems like John Wall's been injured for such a long time now.
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of wild. You get a Rose Bar one time and you tear his Achilles. He tears his Achilles. And, if you asked me last time he played, I would have told you he still played for the Bullets. That's how long he's been out.
All right, so let's move on to your next hot take, Chase.
I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, will have a losing record next year.
So you're one of those guys that's off the Tom Brady train right now?
It's not so much the Tom Brady train. I just don't think the Buccaneers are that good. I think they have a lot of good. How about this? They're not good yet. I think they will be very good, right? But I don't see it happening next year. You got Tom Brady coming. Tom Brady, yes, Tom Brady. I don't think I need to go about his accolades and say how good he is and everything he's done. He's done what he's done, and he is where he is, right? But I think you get a guy like that who's been in the same system for 20 years, bring him down to Tampa Bay, whole new set of pieces and everything, and to a team that last year wasn't that good to start off with. I mean, they put up points in that game against the Rams where their defense played lights out for some reason, But I do not think that next year they will be that good. I think not a losing record like, they only win like 2-3 games, but I think that they will maybe be just below 500, maybe a little further down, but not awful. I think they'll be competitive a lot of games, but not into a lot of games.
Chase, they were 7-9 last season, and that was throwing 30 interceptions. You think they're not going to be able to get past that mark when they really have the same pieces, but they're throwing the greatest quarterback of all time?
I don't know.
Granted, he's 43, but definitely he still has a little bit left in the tank that he hasn't showed yet.
But also, Tom Brady played awful last year. I mean, this past year, he did not. Think about his last pass to the Patriots.
They still had 12 wins.
That defense was lights out, and you got to look at who they play. They played against god-awful teams. You play against the Jets twice a year. The Jets were a dumpster fire this year. The Bills are pretty good, but they're a fringe team. You know what I mean? They're not crazy. And they only won their first matchup against the Bills because Josh Allen got knocked out with concussion. And that was a big deal because everyone's saying, I think it was who knocked him out? Was it Stephon Gilmore? I forget who. Someone knocked him out. And everyone's saying, why weren't they called for targeting, because it's the Patriots. And I would say that's not why, but that was the social media outrage about it. They didn't play a lot of good teams. They lost to good teams. It's kind of like the Cowboys this year. Cowboys, same thing. Not to change subjects, but they were winning against a lot of bad teams. But once they played those good teams, they were getting stomped on.
See, Chase, this is where I really disagree with you here. First of all, NFC South. The Falcons, they just unveiled their new jerseys. They look like the they're not going to do anything. Matt Ryan's washed.
Change is not always better. I'll tell you, change is not always good. I don't know why. Who in their marketing team, who in their whatever team that came about that looked at that jersey. Think how many layers that went through. They had to go through 5 layers of management, and all 5 layers, someone at least a plurality or majority said that these uniforms look good, and they do not.
On the same topic of uniforms, what are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers doing? Not having the creamsicle jersey.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I hope they didn't put it in their top 3, but I really hope they unveil it at some point during the season. We need to see Tom Brady in the creamsicle.
This is my thing. I think a lot of NFL, and some are starting to come around to this, but a lot of with our culture now and everything, especially you would call millennial or Gen Z culture, or whatever. Having a sick jersey, having a really cool jersey like that, you know what I mean? Having a cool jersey is something to do. That is something that guys like you and I imagine. When we were in college together, how many parties did we go to? It was jersey party, and you go out and you see some of the cool of course you have your classics. Everyone's got a Vince Carter purple or white Toronto Raptors dinosaur jersey. You might find a Michael Jordan White Sox jersey out there. But that's the thing. People like seeing those jerseys. And I'm thinking, if I'm an NFL team, if I, do some research, ask the opinions of some of my staff, and I'm saying, what's the jersey that people like for a franchise? Tell me about Travis. What is it? Tell me. You can tell me right now. It's the creamsicle jersey.
Creamsicles.
Like that. That is the pinnacle of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Everyone loves that jersey. You bring that out, ticket sales will go through the roof. Everyone would love to see that.
All right, well, Chase, you think they're going to go under 500? I honestly see them as being a playoff team. I don't think they're going to make it to a Super Bowl, but I can see them rattling off a win or two in the playoffs. They obviously have to get an offensive lineman with their – They have the 14th overall pick. They're projecting Andrew Thomas, an offensive tackle out of Georgia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Someone to protect Tom Brady. And then also in the draft, they need to make sure they get some defensive players. Last season, I believe their defense was 29th out of 32 teams, giving up 28.1 points per game. So look to shore up their defense, give someone to protect Tom Brady. And I can see the Buccaneers doing some damage. They have some weapons on the outside. But that'll go ahead and take us to Chase's next hot take. What you got for us?
I'm going to say the Mavs. This is a general take. I think the Dallas Mavericks, will have a playoff run next year, and I think they can contend for a championship. I'm not saying that they're not my favorite. I do not think they're my favorite whatsoever. But I think this year they weren't really that hot this year. But I think next year really they get the pieces together and everything comes together, and I think they will have a playoff run next year, a very good playoff run next year.
Yeah, I see that too. The Mavericks, they're always kind of middle of the road.
Yeah.
6, 8 seed in the West. But I believe in Mark Cuban. I believe the one thing that the Mavericks really need, they need another star. And looking through the 2020 free agency, just 3 people that I picked that I think would be a really good fit in Dallas: Draymond Green, DeMar DeRozan, Gordon Hayward. You get one of those guys, your team is going to be a serious contender for the NBA championship.
I disagree with Draymond Green. I think Draymond Green is the pinnacle of riding the coattails. I think that of the Golden State Fab Five, everyone that's been on that team, he's definitely the worst of them all. Granted, this year it was a bad year for them. The system that they have in place, how he's used to, winning and stuff, it didn't happen, due to unfortunate circumstances that no one wishes upon any player, with Clay getting hurt and, and Steph getting hurt. But I do not think I think he's a decent player, but I think he's just a rim-rolling center who just relies on getting the rebound and passing out. I think you put him in a vacuum that in and of himself, I would put him below average to below average. You're not mad that you have him, but you're not breaking the bank to get this guy. I think Gordon Hayward, though, yes. Huh?
That might be your hottest take of the show right there.
I do not think he's that good of a it's not. He doesn't do anything that, like when he was talking game on Shaq, Draymond Green thinks he's out here and think he can talk game on Shaq, one of the most dominant forces we've ever seen in the NBA. You ever seen that? There's that picture on Twitter. It's Shaq juxtaposed in a one-on-one with Draymond Green. It's like, what would happen here? What would happen is Shaq would have 40, 10, and 10 on the guy.
Would destroy him.
No, 100%. Yeah, but Draymond Green thinks he's Shaq, but he's not. Draymond Green's like I don't even know. I don't know to put him to, like AK-47. The guy who the Wizards drafted back in the day.
So, do you think the Mavs can win with just the combination of Luka and Kristaps and their supporting?
No,
you think?
I agree. I agree with what you said. I think they do. I think they do add another piece there. I mean, you think about it right now. They have the hottest. I think he's the hottest guy right now in the NBA. Everyone knows Luka Doncic. You know what I mean? Obviously he's not like LeBron James level, but I'm saying with media hype and playing hype and is what he's doing to the game and how he's changing it. A lot of guys are looking at him and thinking, and also this goes back, to the Ball brother, LaMelo Ball, is saying, look, I can have success overseas. I can, forego college, come back, and the European playing style is not that different, to the NBA, and it kind of translates. I mean, you look at the Mavericks themselves. They have 3 guys right now who played overseas. They might have more. I could be wrong, but the 3 guys that come to my head: Luka Porzingis, and Max Kepler. Those three guys played Euroball, and right now, like Porzingis, he did not win Rookie of the Year. Did he? No, he did. Yeah, because they have two. Or I thought he did. I thought they had two. I thought the big deal was because they have two Rookies of the Years on the same team. Or no? He was in. I remember he was in contention for it when he came in. 4 years ago now?
Knicks, yeah.
Yeah. When he was with the Knicks. But I'm saying, like guys like that, they really are changing how the NBA is. But I think you add a guy in. I think DeMar DeRozan. If they pick him up, I do think they will be a very good team. I think they'll be very good. They pick up Gordon Hayward, very good team.
Okay. Well, you're saying they have a good chance to make a run for an NBA championship. I just believe it's a little bit too tough in the West with both of those teams if they can stay together. But definitely if the Mavs add another piece, they have a good chance. They have a good team right now. Luka's going to do his thing day in.
Yeah.
Just find that another piece to help out Kristaps. Let him be able to roam free because he has to be such an inside presence with his height. But man can shoot it from midcourt. So
I agree but also you have to think about obviously the Lakers next year. I mean LeBron James is still on the team. The guy as of right now it goes to the Lakers. Even though they haven't won the championship yet, it goes to the Lakers because you have the greatest player of all time. Or I won't offend anyone. You have one of the greatest players of all time on that team. So obviously it goes to them, and then obviously the Clippers are still pretty good. The Warriors when they get all their pieces back, they will be good again. So they are some pieces, but I think if they do the right things, if upper management does the right things, adds the right pieces, I would not be surprised if they have a good run.
Okay. Chase, I'm pretty sure you're taking us back to the nation's capital for this next hot take. What you got?
I am. I say the Redskins win the division next year.
You see, Chase, I saw this one whenever you first. I just had to laugh because this isn't even hot. This is like the sun amount of heat coming off of this take because it's just something that's not going to happen. But go ahead and.
The reasons I think that they will win the division. Okay, so you look at the Redskins in 20. The years are getting all confused now. So if this was just 2019, 2020, you look at them at 2018, 2019. Okay. And this is, and obviously this is, the past is not a very good predictor, but I'm just chronological in here. Before Alex Smith got hurt against the Texans, they were 6-3 in first in the division. All right. They were playing good football. Alex Smith got hurt. You throw in Colt McCoy and all those backups and everything and nothing on the guys, but then that Alex Smith, he's very good at game management. I'm not saying that team was going to win a Super Bowl. I'm just saying the fact that they were first in the division at that point. And obviously since then, that team has changed. They have, a lot of people went in, a lot of people went out. But I think overall it was a net influx of good. So coming in to last year, obviously last year they were not very good. Their record was very bad. But you look at some pieces, you look at their front seven right now. Their front seven consists of Matt Ioannidis, who is probably, I would argue, a top 5, top 10 interior D lineman right now. Jonathan Allen, Payne, who are both top 3 picks. Are they top 3? No, they're not top 3 picks. But they're both first-round picks out of Alabama. Very good defensive ends. Brian Kerrigan, who is, he's kind of old and everything. He's getting up there in age, but still playing at a very high level. Montez Sweat, he was a top 20 pick. They took him at 15 last year out of or no, he wasn't 15. They got him in the first round with the trade. But, very good defensive end. You have Reuben Foster coming back, who people seem to forget. This guy was balling out in San Francisco. Reuben Foster's still a fantastic ball player. You have Landon Collins. You got a couple pickups at in the secondary position. I think the defense is there. Offensively, Scary Terry. I personally think he was the best rookie receiver last year. I think he did fantastic. I mean, he did. His numbers proved himself. I think he was the best rookie receiver last year. One of the best rookies last year. You have him. You got to add a couple of tight end pieces here and there. You have very good receiving core. With Sims. I like Trey Quinn. Not a lot of guys like him, but he might be released. I think they could do it. Backfield, you got AP, you have Darius Geis, and you have Bryce Love all coming. I think they could do it.
All right, Chase. Let me tell you why you're wrong.
All right, tell me why I'm wrong.
Dwayne Haskins. He's not it. In my honest opinion, I think Chase Young's a heck of a player, but if the Redskins can get Tua at the number,
No.
I think the risk is worth it to get Tua.
I digress.
So
That's
my first thing. Their offense last year, miserable. Points per game, 16.6, last in the league.
Yeah, wasn't good.
Second to last in the league. They're in the NFC East, which I'm going to remind you, it's going to be a lot tougher in the NFC East next year than it was this year. The Cowboys, they're going to be back and ready. Trust me, I'm not a Cowboys fan, but the Cowboys are going to be back and at it. I'm pretty sure they actually just put Dak Prescott on the franchise tag. I think I said. The Eagles, they're always going to be in contention. We got our boy Carroll. He's going to be smiling here and that.
Yeah, he is.
Giants have some pieces that if they can really put it all together, they're going to be a dangerous team as well that can contend. So I just see no sense of hope for the Redskins to make it anywhere in that division. They just don't have the offensive numbers. You talked about their defense, which their defense is okay. It's probably middle of the pack in the NFL. But their offense, you have to score to win games in today's NFL, and they just weren't able to do it last year. And I don't think Haskins is going to be the person to get that done.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Obviously, their offensive production was very bad, and you stated some numbers there, which you can't argue statistics. But one statistic I will say is the Redskins' run defense was top 5 last year. Their defense was phenomenal stopping the run, and this goes back to where I disagree with Tua. I think that Chase Young changes the game more than Tua does. I think Chase Young, what he's done, he has the ability to transform a game. He can take the game into his own hands. And I mean, you look at the guy when he plays, and he plays in Big Ten football. They're known for run heavy, producing offensive linemen. Wisconsin, you get those Wisconsin-fed corn guys, all our farm boys. They put 3 guys on him. You know what I mean? He has the ability to draw so much attention to himself. And then when you bring a guy like that, adding on to a whole D-line of first-round picks, Ryan Kerrigan, Alan Payne, and Sweat, Reuben Foster at linebacker, you add that and you free those guys up. I mean, I think their defense will be good enough where where the offense lacks next year. I think that can really help them. And I think that it's not worth going for Tua because the way the game is, as you can see, Tom Brady's not the highest paid guy on the Patriots. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Tom Brady, yes, great. You can say he's the greatest quarterback of all time, and I to a point, I agree with that. But he is still part of the system. The quarterback in today's game, you have a couple guys who change games. You know what I mean? Like Cam Newton can take over a game. Peyton Manning, you know what I mean? He really could take over a game. But you really need a flowing system. You don't put it all in the quarterback. The quarterback and running back, I'd say, are positions that I would not put the bank on. If you're putting the bank on anything, offensive lineman, you know what I mean, a really good receiver and everything, and I don't think the quarterback. So I don't think it's worth trading away to get that number 2 pick, to pick up Tua, that it would be for Chase Young. I think Chase Young is good enough where that he can hold on and uplift the team when the offense is struggling.
All right. Let's just say Drew Brees and Patrick Mahomes, those 2 guys, in their prime. Are you going to take a player like Chase Young over them in the draft? Because that's the type of player that Tua is going to be able to be. He shows intangibles. He can do it. He has some of the best footwork. He can drill the ball down.
Yeah.
He plays like those guys.
This is my thing on Patrick Mahomes, okay? This is my one thing on Patrick Mahomes. I have 2 points here. First point, Patrick Mahomes. There is no arguing with what he's done. He is a phenomenal quarterback. He is electric. He gets people excited to watch him because he is fantastic. He puts up good numbers. But people fail to realize that team that he's on right now.
Oh, they're dirty. They're dirty.
They're dirty. Not that they were a playoff team without him. It wasn't like Patrick Mahomes came in and just turned he didn't come into a 2-16 team and immediately, or no, not 2-14 team and immediately change it around. You know what I mean? He didn't change that. He changed it, but he didn't flip it. That team was always good. When Alex Smith was there, they were going to the playoffs. They were winning games. They were doing not to the extent they are now. They're not putting up like the 5 passing touchdowns again. You know what I mean? The 300 yards. They weren't doing that. But they were still a very good team. Andy Reid, I mean, you look at his coaching tree and you look at what he's done. He is one of the best coaches in the NFL right now. I'm not going to say he's the best, but he is one of the best. He's a top 5 coach. He's a phenomenal coach. So
Patrick Mahomes on the Redskins team last year, how many wins do you think he gets?
I think he does.
They were 3-13 with Haskins and whoever they had before him.
He's good. I say they go best 8-8. You know what I mean? I say best to go 8-8, and and that's me saying realizing the problems. Like they didn't have Trent Williams. I mean, the offensive line struggled. They lost Eric Flowers this year, so I will say that was a big loss because the Redskins picked him up from the Giants. They moved him to guard, and he really blossomed there. But I say 8-8. You know what I mean? I think Patrick Mahomes is really good, and I think he's good enough to win those 8 games. But I will, from an unbiased standpoint, say there was not the pieces there yet. I think give another developmental year for a lot of those young receivers, and you get defensive pieces this year. I think you draft Chase Young, those receivers develop more. You know what I mean? You pick up a couple offensive linemen. Patrick Mahomes, I gets added to that team. They're the best team in the NFC East, no doubt about it. But back to the point, Drew Brees, yes, he's the GOAT. The dude's nice. You know what I mean? There's no denying that the guy's nice. That's very good teams too. There's no denying that. But he is a very good. Do I take Chase Young over Drew Brees? No. That's because we've seen Drew Brees. We've seen the 2009 Super Bowl. We've seen the numbers that he's put up. Chase Young still has that, a defensive end, you're more it's a more short pick. It's a more stable pick. But because he hasn't proven himself, that's where I'm hesitant. But I'm between Chase Young and Tua. I'm going Chase Young all day. Especially off that hip injury that Tua's coming off right now,
All right, well, we're running low on time here. We do have one more take, so real quick.
All right.
Do your last hot take.
Bengals win more than 5 games.
With Joe,
that's all I got to say.
Are you thinking they're going to get Joe Burrow? Well, everyone's thinking they're going to get Joe Burrow.
They're going to get Joe Burrow. It would be a Bengals thing not to get Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
It would be, but I think they win more than 5 games. They have some really good. I mean, Tyler Boyd, AJ Green on the team. I don't need to.
Healthy next, going to be big for him.
Joe Mixon is a very good running back. They have some pieces got it out to the out of the offensive line. Defensively, they're not completely sound. You know what I mean? They're not the best team. They have to work. They're more bottom of the pack. I think Joe Burrow wins more than 5 games if they do the right thing. I think if they add Joe Burrow next year, I think they'll win 5 games. They get some pieces there, some help on the offensive line. 6-7.
I agree with you. Joe Burrow is going to come in and be a game changer. But once again, I want to take a look at the division: the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Browns.
Yeah,
the Browns. Who knows what's going on with the Browns? They should be a better team than they are. The Steelers, they're getting Roethlisberger back. And the Ravens, we all know what they can be.
Yeah,
it's going to be tough for the Bengals, but I think Joe might be able to rattle off a couple non-division wins along the way.
Oh yeah,
a 16, 17 game season.
Definitely, I agree with that. And I think maybe they pull. I think at best they could pull 2 wins out of that division. You know what I mean? And those are some games. I think they're like home games. Just everything was going right from that day. It's any given Sunday, anything can happen. I think they have at least 2 of that from that division. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to thank you once again for coming on with us today. Make sure you guys check out the Bittersweet Motel show.
Appreciate it.
Check that out. They got some funny stuff going on. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but it's always some comedy. So, Chase, thanks for joining me once again.
Hey, Travis, thank you so much for having me, man.
Vitamins, wash your hands, and we'll all be back to sports here soon.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, brother.
Have a good one.
You too. See ya.